And we have seen very turbulent global markets in the beginning of this year. In your opinion, what policy response are needed?
Well, I think first of all we have to create a certain resilience in each of our own countries, because the reasons for that volatility are very different and vary across countries. So sometimes it has to do with regulatory uncertainty, sometimes it has to do with factors that weigh on the profits of banks. And of course there is also a certain concern about the growth prospects of the world economy. So very different factors with very different answers to cope with them.
And we have heard views on the G20 this year that over-reliance on monetary easing won't solve the problem of the world economy, especially insufficient demand.
I think first of all, and more generally, we have to see that monetary policy has no magic wand. We cannot create sustainable growth, but our mandate is to ensure price stability. So it's a very limited mandate, and what we can do is we can influence the economic fluctuations around the growth trend, but we cannot really create that growth trend. So other policies should be at the forefront of a strategy towards more growth, and especially in a currency union which is composed of one monetary policy but 19 independent fiscal policies, which means that through those purchases you can blur the line between monetary policy and fiscal policy. And you could also weaken the incentives for sound fiscal policy, which is quite crucial also for the protection of monetary policy in such a setting.
Many European countries are still undergoing fiscal consolidation. Are more aggressive fiscal spending feasible right now?
No, I think the situation in each of the European countries is very different. But I think the broad picture is that the crisis we've seen in the past has at its core also a fundamental crisis of confidence in the sustainability of public finances. So I think the right answer to this is not to add on further debt to the already existing high levels of debt, but more generally to ensure that we are on a path of sound public finances and to continue with the budgetary consolidation that has started.
Many are worried about Grexit and Brexit and the refugee crisis. How will these issues affect European economy in 2016?
Well, these are all very challenging issues, and it's very difficult to lump them together. I mean, the refugee issue, to start with, that one is certainly a challenge specifically for a couple of European countries with a very large intake of these refugees, Germany being one amongst them. But in the very short term, the additional spending for refugees is, of course, buttressing the economic recovery. It's sort of, in its consequences, a bit similar to a fiscal spending program, because you increase its deficit if it's additional deficit spending. So in that sense, you have to differentiate the short-term effects from the longer-term challenges, and the longer-term challenges in this respect relate, of course, to the integration of the migrants that are allowed to stay in Germany in the society through ideally an integration in the labor market.